How do you feel about going to Tennessee tomorrow?
Well, we feel really confident that we're gonna give a good fight, and yeah, the team is in the right place, and we feel really confident. We're not underestimating them, but we believe in ourselves. We believe in our players, and yeah, we're going for a win no matter what. Yeah.
How much did playing the other night and winning the way that you did, can you carry any of that momentum over into this game?
Yes, I mean, even when we were down 18 or whatever, how many, I know at least in my mind we were never losing that game in any manner, but the game was tough, and at the end Malachi hit the winner, and I think the game could have gone both ways, but I think we deserved it. We showed a lot of character in the second half especially. And in my opinion, this was the game that it was the most team win we ever had, because literally every player had his moments, had his big moments in the game, and yeah, at the end just a little bit of luck, a little bit of good game plan and everything, and we won.
What did you see of that pass and shot from your perspective?
Oh, if I was under the basket, it was really it was crazy. We obviously drove a play, but it was second and a half, full court. Colin Chandler with a quarterback pass, an amazing pass, and as Malachi and the other player jumped, I thought it would maybe the ball would maybe slip from both of them, so I went under the basket, but Malachi catch it and turn around jumper. It was slow motion, perfect. It was really awesome from him, and he didn't even think about it. He just turned around, made it. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Things haven't always gone your way this season. Sometimes you play, sometimes you don't play. Got your first start on Wednesday. How are you feeling about your game? I mean, how are you been able to kind of handle the ups and downs of the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think even when obviously I had some good games, I had some bad games. I think I was always confident in myself. I knew that even when I was not playing, I knew that it's not because I'm a bad player. It's just because the situation is like that. Maybe some other players stepped up at that moment. We won some games, and the coach didn't want to change the winning roster that was currently playing. So, but I was keep training, keep practicing in the gym over time. Came in the night, came in the morning to shoot. I know what I need to work on, and I knew my chance was going to come and that I'm going to take it. I knew that some game like Mississippi State is going to come, that I will sub in, and I had to do my role good to keep my minutes, and I guess I did it good at Mississippi State. And going into LSU game, I felt really confident. Of course, being a starter is a big role, but I had that role before, and I felt really confident, and I think I gave a solid performance, and yeah. So I'm currently really confident in myself, and even when I was not playing, I was confident in myself, and I was just cheering for my teammates. I know that running this team is not easy. We have a lot of players, more than most of the teams, that are all good players, and it's just something like that you don't play for a few games. But I just waited for my opportunity.
When did that starting lineup conversation happen with Pope, and what was your reaction to it?
Well, just going into Mississippi game, I knew I obviously with JQ out, I knew I was gonna have a chance, and when I subbed in, I think I didn't score much, but I played a good role. I fighted, and I guess I knew after that performance I'm gonna have some minutes to going into LSU games. Of course, I didn't know I was gonna be a starter, but I guess it just. He gave me the opportunity, and I was ready to take it.
What did he tell you before that start? What did Coach Pope say about?
Well, we didn't really have a conversation where he come and told me you're gonna start this. I think it was just we came into practice the day or two before the LSU, and he just called our names, and I was in the starting five. So he didn't really tell me anything. I thought he knew I was ready, and that's it.
When you were playing professionally the last 2 years, did you ever have a situation where you were in and out of the lineup like that, or was this kind of an
Yeah, I did for sure. Not my first year, but my second year, I had an injury. I broke my little finger on my hand, and I was out for a month. And when I came back in, of course, some other players had good games on my positions, and they were having they were in the starting lineup. My minutes started to drop and everything, but as I said, I even then I kept believing myself, and I came back to the starting lineup by the second half of the season. So yeah, it's a familiar situation I've been in.
For you all as a group, you come off the highs of a big win like that on Wednesday. How do you turn it back around and get ready for a rivalry game on the road just 3 days later?
I mean, it's just yeah, we were gonna forget about that game because this is our greatest game, our next game, and we're just turning ourselves up. Now I think like 5 minutes ago, Ortega sent a message to the group, some TikTok about 2 wins last season against Tennessee, and we were just like, we need to get busy. Yeah.
Where do you feel like you've made the most progress since you got here? And I guess where are you feeling the most comfortable now that maybe you weren't when you first got to Lexington?
Well, I think I'm not. I think definitely like maybe like physicality and not even like punching other players, but just as a third defender to like tag my opponent and those what I call like unnecessary contacts when the ball is not even for my player. I'm like getting him into contact a little bit, punching him. So I think I got more physical. Of course, it's not even near where it needs to be, but yeah, I'm working on my physicality as well as my contribution on defensive end.
How does it feel to get a couple shots to fall finally?
Yeah, it feels great. I've been working really hard on it, and it felt really great. It was like it was good shots. I wanted even more, like at least 3 of them, but I feel really confident in my shot. And I think it'll drop.
How frustrating was it to just not see them fall in shots that you're typically used to making that weren't falling in the start of the season, and how much is it kind of making them finally build confidence moving forward?
Yeah, at the beginning they weren't falling, and I was frustrated, but there was nothing else for me to do than to go into facility and shoot even more, shoot off the dribble, not shoot just like slow motion shot, but shoot like game shots, increase speed and everything. So yeah, I train really hard and I'm training really hard, but I was always confident in my shot and knew I can. That's something that parts me from other bigs, that I can make a shot from the outside, and I knew that's something I just need to keep working on, keep believing in, and it'll fall.
What does it do for this offense when you're making shots? You got guys like Cam on the floor that can make shots as far as stretching the defense.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely like, 3-point shot is obviously important, but I think it's even more important when you have a really dominant slashers like Ortega. Then if he slashes and kicks out, and me and Cam make shots, then the next time the opponents will be more spread out, and then he can go to work. He's him, Denzel, and of course Malachi as a center. So I think it's really important to have a balance between being dangerous from the outside and the inside, and I think that's what we're doing really good right now, especially the last game.
Coach Pope has spoken to us before about the importance of you rebounding the basketball and contributing in that way. How do you feel like you've made progress in that regard this season, just rebounding, getting on the glass, and coming up with loose balls for this team?
Yeah, I was a pretty good rebounder back home, but here I'm also. I think it's just like a hustle part of the game, and it just that I'm obviously I got a frame, I'm long, but it's just a hustle part of the game. You need to want it. You need to go for every rebound, especially offensive rebounds, and I think I'm doing good. I can do better, but I'm definitely doing everything I can to get every rebound. Me and Malachi, and of course all the other guards.
The team seems to play a little bit better maybe when it goes smaller. How comfortable are you playing the 5? I know you maybe don't want to be a center, but how comfortable are you playing the 5 and being a center for the team?
I'm pretty comfortable being the center from the team. Yeah, we sometimes go slow. I think it's. I was not playing it a lot on the practice, but I know all the plays, and I think I can when I need to rest some of our big men, like 5 men, I can definitely do that to play a solid role at the 5 for a few minutes or however much is needed. So yeah, I think I can do that.
With Jalen being shut down for the season, what was your initial reaction to that, and what have you and the team done to kind of keep his head up during that time?
Yeah, I mean, he went down. He really fought for us for a long time, much longer than he needed. I mean, his shoulder injury was always, I think, really like really high risk, but that didn't stop him. He played a lot of games throughout the injury, and even some games got injured in the first half, came back in the second half, and obviously in that games he was one of, if not our best player, and seeing him not play for the rest of the season is really sad. But I really wanted to play with him, but I think this is just the best for him and the future and his future here at the Kentucky, because the most important thing is to take the 100% care of the shoulder for him to come back and be who he is.
How have you seen Denzel step up in his absence, especially against LSU?
Yeah, he definitely stepped up, especially in the second half. In the first half, it's hard when in the first half you're not performing as well as you want, and then in the second half step up like that, making shots. I was really like, there were some plays that we were like, the play did go wrong, and he just had a ball at the top of the 3-point line, and he just shot, and the shots went in, and I was like, thank God. Then really good performance from him.
Obviously, the way that you guys came out in the second half against LSU was totally different than the way you played most of the first half. Just what was that halftime conversation with Coach Pope atmosphere like to get you guys to change the flow?
In the first half, I was like, these guys are so not better than us, and we can do so much better, but we just, I don't know, we had poorly performance, and by the way, that cannot happen against Tennessee, because I'm not underestimating LSU, but Tennessee is much more dangerous opponent than them, and we need to be in from the first minute, and we know that. But just I even think the conversation at the halftime was not like there was no nervousness, there was no like angriness, there was just like, what are we doing wrong, and what can we like upgrades to win this game? And we were just like, we told a few things, I don't know, third defender, short rolls, whatever, and we just went out there, and I knew with time to time when we were gonna cut the lead, and we were gonna lead at one point. So yeah, I think even the guys, I can see it in their eyes that they never really thought we were gonna lose that game.
As a newcomer, it's your first time playing Tennessee. What have some of the guys that have played them before? You talked about Otega sitting at TikTok. What have they been saying about how big this game is for Kentucky fans?
Definitely big. I saw the fans texting me all the time. It's one of the biggest rivalries, and you just, I don't even know them, but you just adapt that rivalry, and you just like don't like them instantly. And we really want to go out there and make a statement against them.
Why do you think this team starts so slow sometimes?
I don't even know, because even Coach Pope, he's adjusting the lineup so we can not have a slow start. But I don't really have an answer to that. I'm not gonna lie, but we were in, and I don't know, maybe. No, I don't really have an answer to that. I don't know, but we need to fix that. Definitely, that's our like number one problem, that we always like we're always like trailing by 10 at the halftime, and then we are turning around the game, and that's it shows character, is inspirational, but against real opponents you need 40 minutes of good games to win, and that's what we need to do.
Does your defense surprise you at all sometimes?
I mean, yeah, I do have like I feel comfortable on defense, but of course I'm not perfect on defense. I do like three great things, and then I do one like really like amateur thing. But I need to work on that. I just need to keep my concentration for every second I'm on the court. But yeah, I feel like I can really contribute on the defensive end, and I'm getting really much better than that.
A little off topic, but now coming into the season, you've been to a couple different states now. Any cool thing you've seen from America since this is your first time here?
I think Nashville was pretty cool. Yeah. When we were there, like everything, there was like one street that was all like lighting up. There was music everywhere, and it's not just music area, but every like bar, cafe had like a different kind of music. It was just like a different vibe. When you walked in, it's like you were in like a different city. That was pretty cool. I don't know where. Of course, I mean New York. New York was awesome. We didn't see much of it, but it was like really cool. So I like traveling around the U.S. and seeing all these new states. Yeah.
Has there been anything that the guys have shown you that has really impressed you about the United States?
Well, in the days of social media, you know a lot about the United States, but it's just showing all these kinds of. There's like a widespread of like everything, of like food wise, like arcade wise and that. So I'm still exploring Lexington even, but yeah, I would like to travel all around US definitely.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Good. Better.
Well, what was going on, I guess, before the game, leading up to the game Wednesday?
I just woke up and I was feeling a little weak. I think I had the flu, so I mean I probably still have it, but lower level. Yeah. So I don't want to get shot sick, but just lower level. But be well got me right, so that's kind of why I missed shooting around.
Was there any point you thought maybe I won't be able to play in this game?
I was gonna play regardless.
Is that something where if you go into a game sick like that, are you maybe feel off a little at the beginning and then start to get it more as the game gets in its flow, or is it bad throughout?
Nah, for sure. It's like you gotta get your second win. So I feel like that's kind of what it was. I was trying to use warm-ups to really break a sweat, try to get my second win. But that's really what it is. You gotta kind of sweat it out a little bit.
Were you watching like MJ highlights before the game or something? Because you played pretty good.
Nah, I was just, if I'm gonna play, I'm trying to, do what I do. So I didn't want it to be like an excuse or anything. So if I step on the court, I'm gonna try to play.
Have you had any conversations with Malachi? Because he kind of stole your moment since you were supposed to get that ball there at the end.
Nah, I was just like, thank you, bro. 'Cause, I missed the last free throw, so he saved the day, and that was a big time play. The catch, the throw, and then for him to turn around, lock in, and make it, I was just like, got you, man, bro. Thank you.
Walk us through the emotions of that, because you nearly made the game winner just a few plays before.
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought it would have counted, but clearly they didn't think so. So talk us from the high. Did you think it counted? And then
Yeah, I thought it counted. Everyone in the huddle thought it counted because I came back and I was like, yeah, did it count? I was like, yeah, it's good, it's good. So I didn't even think of it, anything about it. But that's part of the game. The quick turnarounds, the highs and lows. So you go from thinking, you sealed the deal, but you just have to go and fight a little longer. But it's all good.
At what point did you know that shot clock was running down, or that it was at 2 or 5 or whatever, whenever you saw it?
I didn't even know, if I'm being honest. I didn't even realize. I was so dialed in because the play was for me. So they were kind of denying a little bit. So I was really just trying to get the ball, and then I got it. And I didn't even realize until I kind of heard it get I heard the gym get a little come up. So that's kind of when I realized.
Both Malachi and Tony hit an LSU game winner this season.
Yeah.
Last night, Tony got asked which she thought was better, hers or Malachi. She said hers. So what do you think?
That's a hard one. Personally, I like Malachi's because, that's for us. Tony's was cold too. That was a ISO step back 3. So, that one is definitely one you're going to remember for sure.
Did Colin mean to throw it to Malachi? Did you all figure that out?
Yeah, he did for sure. Because I was all the way to the left side of the court and then went all the way to the right. So I was like, yeah, he definitely meant to throw it to Mally.
When you saw that ball, I guess, go up, what were you thinking? Because it was probably coming this way. You probably didn't know Malachi was over there.
The pass?
Yeah, the pass from Colin.
I was like, oh, okay. Maybe he saw something. I didn't, but I thought it was gonna come my way. But then went to 9, so I was like, okay, maybe he's just gonna throw it up and let Mally go get it, and that's what he did.
So is it possible to come off of the high of a game like that and maybe learn something from the way you played in the second half and translate that into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, we got to start from the jump. We've had these slow starts, and I think it starts with me and Da, and us being the older guys in the starting lineup. So I think we just got to get off on a way better start offensively. We got to start sharper. The intensity has to be how it is when we play the second half. We just got to, adjust it. Really, that's all it is.
And Yelovich said that you sent a text around to everybody to let them know kind of about Tennessee. What can you share with us what that was?
It was last year when we were at Tennessee, and I was at the free throw line. They just started chanting "Go Big Blue," So I was like, yeah, let's go in there, you know, do that again. Let's have them cheer Big Blue in their home arena. So.
How do you get the newer guys to kind of buy in and realize, hey, this is Tennessee. We don't like them. They don't like us. This is a big rivalry for us here in Kentucky.
Yeah, everyone already knows. You know, we got a lot of Kentucky guys, and on top of that, a couple guys that play in the SEC. So everyone knows the stakes, and on top of that, we just want to win the game. You know, get on the right side of this the road trip really. So we want to know. It's got to be 2.
What kind of challenges does Nate Ament pose to you all?
Big guard, so you know, just got to be physical with him. Really good offensively, so just can't let him dictate where he wants to go, and we got to dictate that for him.
With Gillespie, what have you seen from his game so far?
He's quick, good shooter, so you know, gotta pick him up a little higher than college 3-point line, but I think we got a solid game plan.
How much, Yelovich was talking about how when you've got some other shooters like himself and Cam on the floor, and he called you a great slasher, how much more efficient is the offense when all of those things are working and you have a threat of the outside shot on the floor?
Yeah, I feel like that's all that we've been trying to get to, you know, just getting more space, and you know, we have guys knocking down shots, and even if they're not knocking down shots, just being aggressive and taking them and, you know, trying to make a play. I feel like that just opens up, you know, everything. Opens up the cuts, the back doors, you know, me getting downhill, DA getting downhill. It really just starts up everything, if I'm being honest.
What did the bad taste left in your mouth from how last season ended impact your emotions going into this one?
If I'm being honest, I'm not even thinking about that really. I just really want to just get a win. Obviously, I know what it is to play Tennessee every time I do. So, yeah, it's that emotion tied to it as well. But I'm really just like, you know, trying to get this win.
Obviously, the last time you guys went on the road in a rivalry game, things didn't go very well. Why will tomorrow be different?
Because we're gonna start with that intensity from the jump. I feel like we know now, like we have something to build on. We got our first road win, so we know what it takes. We can't get down early, so I feel like we just have to translate that same intensity we had second half to tomorrow.
So first time talking to you since Jalen went down, just kind of your reaction to, you know, the news and how DA stepped up in his absence.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. You know, I look at Jalen on a whole different light now because, you know, he put his body on the line, practicing every day, playing every day, knowing that his shoulder is probably like 40%, 50%. So, you know, I'm just really thankful that, you know, I did get to play with him. And the time he did, you know, great teammate, great leader, and on top of that, even though he's sitting out the whole season, you know, he's still like super locked in, you know, talking to us throughout the whole game, before the game, you know, giving his spill because, you know, he's still a basketball savant. Like, he watches all the game, watches all the film. So, you know, he's definitely just a great leader, and, you know, it's unfortunate he can't play, but, you know, we're gonna do this for him, sure.
DA stepping up.
Yeah, it's been big. I feel like DA's used to, you know, playing that point guard spot, so, you know, he has a lot on his plate, but, you know, he's been doing good at, you know, leading us and keeping us really composed. You know, that's what the PGs are for, and, you know, he's doing a really good job.
I think an SEC player averaging like 21, 5, and 4 or something like that. Maybe 3 steals, something like that. What is it about SEC play? Because obviously you did a similar thing last year. What is it about the SEC that just gets the best out of you?
Just the constant bump. You know, it's great competition, and I feel like in non-conference you could kind of like get away with, you know, not playing, you know, the best and still winning. But, you know, SEC, you playing the top teams every single night. So, you know, I just love competing, love playing against these great teams, and I feel like it just brings the best out of me and everyone really.
What did click for you in the last month or so? Was it just coming back from injury and just kind of getting that familiarity back?
Just me, just getting back to my game. I feel like getting my footing back, like you said it was. I did come back from injury, and I was out 3 months before the season, so like my footing and my feel just kind of felt a little off. But now I feel like I'm getting like my foot speed and just getting my feel for picking my spots back a little bit.
You've been really consistent with your 3-point shot this year as well. Just what can you attribute that to, and what's your confidence level shooting right now?
No, I'm just shooting it, not thinking. Before I may shoot and be like, all right, I'm shooting because I'm supposed to shoot it. I may be open, but now I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna shoot it, like let me actually like try and make it. Like let me be locked in and focused on this. So, just me working on my shots every day, every night. I feel like that's really what it is, just being confident.
What do you think Malachi's ceiling is, long term for him?
Yeah, I don't think he really don't got no ceiling. I feel like this is probably like not the worst he's gonna be, but he's just gonna continue to just get better. Like he's so good right now, but as you can still see, like he has so much more to go, and he's really effective both offensively and defensively. He just takes up space, so I feel like he could just. The sky's the ceiling. It's unlimited.
What do you think of Yelovic's first start?
It was good. I think he shot the ball really well, really physical. It was hard. He probably went 3 games without playing, and then went into the starting lineup. So it's challenging, but I feel like he did a really good job, just being locked in, and we got next man up mentality, and he had that for sure.
What did you see from him in practice to kind of suggest that what he was doing in practice was going to translate to true road environment in his first start?
Exactly what he was doing in the games. I feel like Yeli, he's really good at just not getting too high or too low, no matter what the circumstances is. And in practice he's done everything that he's supposed to do. He's really focusing in on defense and knowing the calls and knowing what we're doing, and I feel like that's the best part. So.
Pope kept kind of the same 5 out there for basically the last 8+ minutes of the game. What was the comfort level? What clicked so well with that group?
We was just grooving. I'm glad he kept us out there. We found the groove, if I'm being honest. I think it's part of the 5 he had could really space the floor. Really aggressive off the bounce, so I thought that's kind of what it was. But then defensively too, we were getting stops, getting out in passing lanes, and I think we just found a groove really. That could be any 5 though, any given night, but I feel like that 5 was just really special in that game.
Anything else?
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nobody asked about XP.
Yeah.